Good morning, children. So, welcome back to physics class. So, how are you all? Are you fine? So, are you preparing for your online examination? Started preparing for your online examination? So, anyway, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is second chapter in physics, human eye and colorful world. Okay. So, as the name says, in this chapter, we are going to learn about human eye. Why we are learning about human eye in physics? It's a biology topic, isn't it? Why we are learning in physics? Because human eye is a most sensitive optical instrument. What is an optical instrument? Any instrument which works on the principle of light is called optical instrument. Right, children? So, human eye is an optical instrument. It works with the help of light. It consists of a biconvex lens. Okay. And this convex lens forms an image on our retina. Already you have learned in smaller classes the structure of human eye, isn't it? In physics itself you might have learned. So this year also first part of the chapter is structure of human eye. So we'll be learning the different parts of human eye and its various functions. And second part of the chapter, the colorful world. So we'll be able to view the colorful world around us with the help of human eye. You know, human eye is the most sensitive, one of the most sensitive sense organs in our body. Okay. So without that, we will not be able to enjoy the beauty of the world around us. See, with sound and smell, we will not be able to enjoy the beauty of the world, colorful world around us, isn't it? So, in this chapter, we'll be learning about different natural phenomena like rainbow, then blue color of sky, etc. Okay. So, shall we start the chapter? So, first we are going to learn the structure of human eye. You might have learned in small classes, I think in 8th standard and all you have learned. So what is the shape of human eye? It is almost spherical in shape, isn't it? And the diameter of human eye, what is the diameter, approximate diameter? It is 2.3 centimeter. Diameter is 2.3 centimeter. Okay, so it is spherical in shape and the eyeball has got a diameter of 2.3 centimeter. So we will see what are the important parts of human eye. So the first part is cornea. So what is cornea? So cornea is the transparent covering in front of our eye. See in the picture it is given. Okay, transparent covering which bulges out, and this part you can view from outside. Okay, it is the outer part of human eye and it is a transparent part and which bulges out. So what is cornea? It is the outermost part of the eye. Outermost part of the eye. And which allows, since it is transparent, light can easily pass through it. So it is the part of the eye which allows light to enter the eye. Okay. And it forms a transparent bulge on the front surface of the eyeball. So what is cornea? It is a transparent part, outer part of the eye which allows light to enter the eye. Okay. And it forms a transparent bulge on the front surface of the eyeball. Then next part is iris. Do you know what is iris? Iris. See, in the picture it is given what is iris. See, iris is that part of the eye which gives color to our eye. You know, different people, they have got different colored eyes. Some are having blue color, some are having green color, brown, black, etc. So this color is given by the color of the iris. How? You know, iris is a muscular diaphragm which is having a hole at the center. And what is that hole called? That hole is called pupil. Okay. So that hole is called pupil, which is at the center of the iris. And iris consists of muscles and also some pigments, colored pigments. So it is that colored pigments which gives color to our eyes. Okay. So what is iris? It is a dark muscular diaphragm which is having a hole at its center, and that hole is called what? Pupil. Okay. And what is the function of iris? See, function of iris is to control the size of the pupil. Okay. Sometimes the iris will be contracting, sometimes it will be expanding. So by the expansion and contraction of the iris, the size of the pupil can be adjusted. So what is the function of iris? Function of iris is to control the size of the pupil. Okay. So what is iris? Iris is the dark muscular diaphragm which is having a hole at its center, and that hole is called pupil. So function of iris is to control the size of the pupil. And what is the function of pupil? I told you it is a hole at the center of the iris. So it is the part of the eye through which the light enters the eye and reaches the eye lens. So iris is a hole, pupil is a hole at the center of the iris, and which regulates the amount of light entering the eye. Okay. So pupil controls Okay, children, we'll continue. So what is iris? It is a dark muscular diaphragm which is having hole at its center, and that hole is called pupil. So function of iris is to control the size of the pupil. And what is the function of pupil? Pupil is something which allows the light entering the eye. Okay. And what is the function of pupil? Pupil controls the light entering our eye. So how can it control the light entering our eye? See, suppose you are standing in a dark room. Okay, you know the amount of light entering our eye will be less, isn't it? In a dark room. If you are standing in a dark room, what happens is the pupil becomes wide. Okay, with the help of the iris, the pupil becomes wide, and that means it becomes large so that maximum amount of light can enter our eye. Okay, and suppose bright light, when bright light falls into our eye, then what happens? Pupil become very small with the action of the iris. Okay, pupil become very small, and it allows only a required amount of light to enter our eye. So this is how pupil controls the amount of light entering our eye. See here, the function of iris and pupil is given. See, in bright light what happens? In bright light the iris relaxes. So what happens? The pupil becomes small. And in dim light iris contracts. So when it contracts, what happens? Pupil become large. So in bright light the pupil becomes small so that only less amount of light will enter our eye, and in dim light what happens? Iris contracts, so a large amount of light can enter our eye, or maximum light will enter our eye. So with the help of the iris and pupil, the amount of light entering our eye is controlled. Okay, children, got the function of pupil and iris? Okay. So we'll move on to the next part of eye. We'll see which is the next part. Next is ciliary muscles. It is an important part of human eye. So ciliary muscles, as the name indicates, it is a muscle which hold the eye lens in its position. See the picture of ciliary muscle, it is given. So this are ciliary muscles. This pink color muscle is ciliary muscle. So it holds the eye lens. This is the eye lens. Eye lens in its position. It helps to hold the eye lens in its position. And also another function of ciliary muscle is to control the focal length of the eye lens. Here, what is our eye lens? Eye lens is a convex lens. Okay. But it is not made up of glass. It is made up of some muscles, transparent jelly-like material. Okay. So it is not made up of glass. So it is made up of muscle, but it is biconvex in nature. Biconvex in nature. So with the help of ciliary muscles, I can change the focal length of the eye lens. How? See, in the case of convex lens, already we have learned that if the lens is thin, then the focal length will be more. This is the focal length, isn't it? Distance from optical center to the principal focus is known as the focal length, small f. And if the lens is thick lens, then focal length is less. So, in this case, in the first case, the lens is thin lens, so the focal length is more. And in the second lens, the lens is thick lens and the focal length is less. So, by adjusting the thickness of the lens, you can increase or you can change the focal length of the lens. Okay. So, this is a function of ciliary muscle. So, whenever we view distant object and far away object, in order to get the image on the retina, okay, eyes has to change its focal length. So, the change in focal length is done with the help of the action of ciliary muscles. So, here see in the second case, here the ciliary muscles contract. So, when the ciliary muscles contract, what happened to our eye lens? It has become thick, isn't it? Here the lens is thin. When you compare the two pictures, first one the lens is thin and in the second case the lens is thick. So, when the ciliary muscles contract, what happens? The lens become thick. Similarly, when the ciliary muscles relax, the lens become thin. So, in order to view both far away and nearby objects at the same time, we have to, or the eye lens has to change its focal length. So, this is done with the help of ciliary muscle. So, that is the function of ciliary muscle. So, what are ciliary muscles? These are muscles which hold the eye lens in its position. Okay. And it controls the focal length of the eye lens. It controls the focal length of the eye lens. How? When these muscles are relaxed, the focal length of the lens increases. So, when ciliary muscles are relaxed, the lens becomes thin. So, its focal length increases. When they contract, the focal length of the lens decreases. Okay, children. So, when the ciliary muscles contract, the lens becomes thick. So, the focal length decreases. So, that's the function of ciliary muscles. So, the next part that we are going to learn is retina. Retina is an important part of human eye, and it is a delicate membrane which is having a number of light sensitive cells. Okay. So, what do you mean by light sensitive cell? Yes, it is sensitive to light, isn't it? So, when light falls on retina, it becomes more and more sensitive. So, it is a delicate membrane having an enormous light sensitive cells. You know, in retina there are two types of cells, rods and cones. You might have learned in smaller classes. Okay. These cells get activated upon illumination and generate signals. Do you know where retina is situated? Yes, retina is situated inside the eyeball and it is opposite to the eye lens. Okay. So what is the function of retina? See, in human eye, retina acts as a screen. You know, when we use convex lens and mirror and all, a screen is kept to get the image of the object, isn't it? So in human eye, where the image is formed, it is formed on retina. It is actually the screen inside the eye. Okay, so it consists of, it is not made up of wood, okay, or it is not a board. It is made up of light sensitive cells. So when image falls on retina, it will send that light energy, it will convert the light into electrical signals. That's the function of retina. It converts the optical signals. Optical signals means what? Light signals into electrical signals. And that electrical signals, they are sent to brain through optic nerves. We will learn what are optic nerves. Okay. And the brain will be interpreting the nature of the image. Thus we can see the object. This is how we see the object. When the retina gives electrical signals to brain through optic nerves, brain will be interpreting the nature of the image. What is that size? What is the nature? What's the color? Is it inverted? Okay, so these things will be predicted by our brain. So the next part is lens. That is our eye lens. So what is this eye lens? It is a crystalline lens, and it is double convex in lens. Already we have discussed. And it is made up of what? Transparent and flexible tissues. Okay, it is made up of transparent and flexible tissue, and it is double convex in nature. And it focuses the image of the object on the retina. So that's the function of our eye lens. It is the one who focuses the image on the retina. Okay. Then the next part is optic nerve. What is optic nerve? It is a nerve which connects our eye with brain. Okay. Nerve which connects human eye with brain is called optic nerves. And what is the function of this optic nerve? Function of optic nerve is to carry electrical impulse or signals from retina to brain. Okay, so optic nerves carries electrical impulses or signals, optical signals from retina to the brain. So what are the important parts of human eye? First part that we have learned is cornea. Cornea. Second part is pupil. Then we have learned iris. Then we learned eye lens, ciliary muscles, retina, optic nerves. Okay. So in this diagram of human eye, we are going to mark these all parts. Okay, children. So first, where is cornea? Yes, cornea. Cornea, what is cornea? It is a transparent bulge in front of our eye which can be seen from outside. Okay, it is the outermost part of our human eye. It is the part which bulges out. Okay, so that is cornea. Second part that we have learned is pupil. What is pupil? It is a hole at the center of the iris. Okay, through which light enters our eye and falls on the convex lens or eye lens. And what is the function of pupil? It regulates the amount of light which enters our eyes. Then the next part is iris. What is iris? Iris is a dark muscular diaphragm, and which controls the size of the pupil. Okay, sometimes it contracts, sometimes it relaxes. So by the relaxation and contraction of iris, the size of the pupil can be adjusted. Then next is crystalline lens. So what's the function of lens? It is to focus the image of the object on the retina. It is biconvex in nature. Then we have ciliary muscles. So we have a pair of ciliary muscle on that is one at either side of the eyelens. What is the function of ciliary muscle? It holds the eyelens in its position. Okay, and also what is the function? It can change the focal length of the eyelens by contracting and relaxing. It can change the focal length. So that is ciliary muscle. Then next part is retina. So retina is inside our eyeball and which is opposite to the eyelens, and it consists of light sensitive cells. Okay, and it is the screen on which the image of the object falls. Then next part is optic nerve. What is optic nerve? It is a nerve which connects retina to our brain. It is the nerve which sends the optical signals, that is electrical signals, sent from retina to the brain. Then we have two fluids present in our eye. One is aqueous humor, the another one is vitreous humor. So you might have learned in smaller classes what is the function of this aqueous humor and vitreous humor. See, aqueous humor is present between the cornea and the eyelens, isn't it? It is present between the cornea and the eyelens. And what is the function of aqueous humor? See, both these fluids present inside our eyeball regulates the pressure of the eye. Okay, and the aqueous humor, since it is in touch with the eyelens, it gives proper nutrients to our eyelens. Okay, it controls the pressure inside the eyeball, and also it gives adequate nutrients to the eyelens. It is a watery fluid. And vitreous humor, it is present between the eyelens and retina. It is present inside the eyeball. Okay, and it also helps to maintain the spherical shape of the human eye. It helps to maintain the spherical shape of the human eye. So these are the parts of human eye, important parts of human eye. So you have to draw this diagram in your notebook. Neat label diagram you have to learn. Okay, and next we are going to learn how image is formed inside eye, or how image is formed inside eye. So already we have learned the parts of human eye. Suppose our object is candle. So candle is kept in front of eye. So how can you see an object? When the light from the object falls into our eye, a image is formed on retina, isn't it? So here this is the object, candle. So rays of light enters our eye through which part? Through the pupil, isn't it? Through the pupil it enters our eye, and then it falls on the convex lens, eye lens, and eye lens will be focusing this rays on retina, where you can see an inverted image of the candle. Okay, so an inverted real image is formed by the eye lens. You know, eye lens is convex lens, and what is the general nature of image formed by a convex lens? Real and inverted. So inside our eye also, on retina, real and inverted image is formed on retina. Okay, and retina will be converting these optical signals into electrical signals, and that signals will be sent to brain through optic nerves, with the help of optic nerves, and the brain will be interpreting the nature of the image. Okay, so that's the working of human eye. Next, another important term related with eye is accommodation of eye. So what is accommodation of eye? You know, in the case of convex lens and concave lens, As the position of the object changes, what happens to the nature of the image? Yes, here we have the focus, here 2f. Okay, so suppose the object is kept beyond 2f, where is the image form? Yes, where is the image form? It is formed between f and 2f. And when the object is kept at 2f, image is formed at 2f. When the object is kept between f and 2f, what happens? Image is formed beyond 2f. And when the object is kept at the focus, what happens? Image is formed at infinity, isn't it? Highly enlarged. So in the case of spherical lenses and mirrors, when the position of the object changes, the position, size and nature of the image changes. Even it can form virtual image, isn't it? But in the case of eye lens, what happens? We will be viewing nearby and far away objects at the same time. Okay, so in the case of common convex lens, you can change the position of the screen and get the image. But here in the case of eye lens, can we change the position of the retina? Retina is a screen inside our eye. Can we change the position of retina? No, it is not possible, isn't it? So the distance between retina, this is the retina, and the lens, that is, this distance cannot be changed. It is constant. Okay, so that distance cannot be changed. So as the position of the object changes, what can be changed? You can change the focal length of the lens. Okay, so how can you change the focal length of the lens? By the action of ciliary muscles. Okay, so when you view distant objects, see the first case, we are viewing distant object. Okay, rays are parallel to each other, and when it falls on convex lens, it converges at the retina. So as the position of the object changes, the nature of our eye lens also changes. So when you view distant object, our ciliary muscles will be in a relaxed condition. Okay, so the thickness of the eye lens will be less. The eye lens becomes thin. So the focal length increases. Okay, once again, when we view distant object, what happens? Ciliary muscles will be relaxed. Okay, so eye lens becomes thin and focal length increases. Okay, similarly, when you view a nearby object, again the image should be formed on retina. You cannot change the position of the retina. So what the eye does is, it changes the focal length of the eye lens. So in that case, the ciliary muscles contract. So the eye lens becomes thick. So the focal length decreases so that the image will be formed on the retina itself. So when you view nearby objects, ciliary muscles contract. So the lens becomes thick and focal length decreases. So this is the function of ciliary muscles, and this property of human eye is known as accommodation. Okay, that is, human eye has the ability to view both nearby and far away objects by adjusting its focal length. So that property of human eye is known as power of accommodation. Okay, but it has got a certain limit. It cannot increase the focal length beyond a certain limit. It cannot decrease the focal length also beyond a certain limit. Suppose you keep a book very close to our eye. Are we able to read it if the book is very close to our eye? No, isn't it? It should be at a certain minimum distance, then only you can see clear and distinct image of the object. So that minimum distance is known as the least distance of distinction, or it is known as the near point of human eye. So what do you mean by near point of human eye? It is a minimum distance at which objects can be seen most distinctly without strain. So that minimum distance is known as near point, and near point is otherwise known as the least distance of distinct vision. So what is near point? It is a minimum distance at which objects can be seen most distinctly and clearly without strain. And it is also known as the least distance of distinct vision. And for a normal healthy human eye, so that distance near point is 25 centimeter. Okay. For a normal healthy human eye, near point is 25 centimeter. That is, from 25 centimeter from your eye, you will be able to see the object. Till what distance? Till infinity. That is, the farthest point up to which I can see objects clearly and distinctly is known as the far point, and far point for a normal healthy eye is infinity. Okay, so human eye can see clearly from a distance of 25 centimeter to infinity. So near point of a normal human eye is 25 centimeter, and far point it is infinity. Okay, so only this much. Next we will be learning about the different defects of human eye in the next class. Okay, so we will just summarize what we have learned today. So we have learned today the structure of human eye, isn't it? Structure of human eye and its important parts. And also we have learned the working of human eye and what is the nature of image formed inside the lens and how that message is sent to our brain and all. And also we have learned power of accommodation. What is power of accommodation? It is the property of human eye to see both nearby and far away objects at the same time by adjusting its focal length. And also we have learned what is near point and far point. For a healthy person, what is the near point? It is 25 centimeter, and far point is infinity. Okay. So today we will be getting the notes through the parent app. So write down the notes, draw the structure of the human eye neatly, should be label diagram today itself, and complete the notes. So we will see in the next class. So next we will be having a small interactive session. Okay children, thank you.